Good morning, crafters. It's Andrea from Prairie Sky Paper Crafts. Today I'm going to show you a triple stamp. Fall is definitely in the air here. It's only about 10 degrees or so right now. So I'm going to be using some of my favorite fall colors. I've got Cajun Craze, Daffodil Delight, Pumpkin Pie, and I'm also going to be using Old Olive. Now I've got my pieces already cut up, and I know that I usually share a preview, but this week was absolutely off the rails. So I'm going to create it with you. So you'll notice that I've got 6 pieces of paper here. I'm using Whisper White and Cajun Craze. I'm going to do a blog post today, and I'll post that in the comments as well if you would like to have written instructions to go along with the video. The Cajun Craze I've got cut at 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, 3 by 4 1/4, and 1 3/4 by 3. And the Whisper White I've got at 4 by 5 1/4, 2 3/4 by 4, and 1 1/2 by 2 3/4. So it's actually a pretty easy technique to do. I'm also going to be using the Forever Fern stamp set. One of my challenges to myself this month is to ink up some stamp sets that I haven't had a chance to use yet. And I absolutely adore this one. It's so versatile, masculine, feminine, any season. It's perfect. And I'm also going to be using this sentiment. So before I start to stamp the greenery, I'm actually going to stamp my sentiment so I can kind of see where I'm going. The first thing that I'm going to do is separate out the Whisper White from the Cajun Craze. I'm just going to set that aside. Now, it's a triple stamp technique, so what we're going to have to do before we start stamping is layer our cards. Now, to make sure that they don't shift, I'm just going to add a tiny little bit of adhesive to the back of the center two. And then I'm just going to line them up. So it's about an inch, well, it is an inch smaller. So you're going to kind of eyeball it just to make sure that it's where you would like it to be. And I think I'm going to do my card this way this time, just because the sentiment will fit a little bit better. So I'm going to get up my stamp block, and I'm going to open up the Old Olive, which is the color that I'm going to use for the sentiment. Okay, ink it up. And I always do a little tester, especially if it's a new stamp set that I haven't used before, because sometimes you need to do a little TLC before you can stamp, but this one actually looks pretty good. So I'm going to do this one centered. All right, so that part is done. I'm just going to take this stamp set off to the side and close up my ink pad. Also, I wanted to let you know that this month, if you've ever considered joining Stampin' Up, or if you wanted to place a fairly largish order, excuse me, there is a starter kit promotion right now. Usually you get $165 worth of product for $135, and that actually includes your shipping and tax. But this month you get 2 extra stamp sets, a package of rhinestones, and you also get enough cardstock to make 16 cards. Now that's already cut and ready for you to go. So if you are interested in that at all, please feel free to send me an email, prairieskypapercrafts@gmail.com. Or you can visit my Facebook page, which is facebook.com/prairieskypapercrafts. All right, so I think I'm only going to do 3 of those ones. Now that one I stamped off in Pumpkin Pie. And then I'm going to do the larger one with Daffodil Delight. I absolutely love fall. The temperatures are cooling off, although we seem to have gone from fall to, or summer to fall in the blink of an eye this year. It's absolutely crazy. Okay, so you can see here how it didn't line up perfectly. That's not a big deal at all, because when we go to put our layers on, it's actually going to hide that. Okay, and I'm going to do This one's going to go like that. And this is a really fluid technique. You can pretty much do whatever you want. And any stamp set really will work with this one. Actually, I think I'm going to do another one with the pumpkin pie. I'm going to turn this one so that it kind of comes down a bit. All right, I'm happy with the way that looks. And one of the stamps that comes in this set is also just dots. So because I'm using Cajun Craze as my background layer, I'm just going to go ahead and add a few. I didn't want to put too much Cajun Craze ink, just because I'm going to be doing it with the cardstock. I'm just going to kind of randomly go in wherever it looks like it really needs something. Just kind of plop that on, maybe a little bit up in the corner. It's one thing that I absolutely love about card making is you can make it yours. It's as fluid as you want it to be. Okay, I think I'm going to call that one done. I'm just going to put my stamp sets off to the side, put my inks off to the side for now. And now I'm going to show you how to go ahead and build up your layers. Okay, so I'm going to bring back the Cajun Craze cardstock. And I'm going to take apart very gently, very carefully. Because if you don't, oops, okay, there you go. Okay, so I've got Cajun Craze as my background layer. So I'm going to layer the first piece. And usually when I put my cards together, I just do a run on either side. As I find with the Stampin' Up! Cardstock, you really don't need to be that liberal with it because, or adhesive, I should say, just because it is really awesome quality and it doesn't really tend to shift very much. All right, so then we're going to do the same thing with this one. And then when you have your pieces, when you had the white layered, you can kind of see where it wasn't 100% covered. So all you need to do is kind of eyeball. And again, it's the white pieces are 1 inch smaller. So your layers are going to be perfectly covered and nobody's going to see where it's not 100% perfect. And also, if something happens when you're in the middle of doing your card that you don't particularly love, you don't need to throw it away. You don't need to start from scratch because Stampin' Up! Cardstock is awesome. You can either flip it over or you can do what I frequently do because I somehow always manage to get ink where I don't want it to be. A little bit of bling will cover just about anything up. Plus, it adds a little bit of shine and sparkle to your card. And I am going to add just a little shine and sparkle to my card today. All right, and here we are. We're almost done. Final layer put onto the card. I'm also going to have a list of product that I used for this card, and I'll post that as well. Now you'll see because we did the triple stamp and we layered it exactly, all of the pieces are lined up where they need to be. So now I'm going to bring in some of the wonderful gems. They're red and gold. These are available in the August to January mini catalog. And I'm just going to go ahead and stick a couple of these just kind of randomly. I tend to go for the smaller ones generally. Not sure why. It's just something that I like the smaller ones better for some reason. All right, now, oops, add a couple of bigger ones maybe. All right, so there we go. There's our card. I'll have the blog post up shortly, and also the shopping list if you would like it. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit subscribe below so you get a notification every time I post a new video, which is usually every Friday, sometimes a little bit more frequently. But thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a fantastic day. If you do recreate this card, be sure to pop over to my Facebook page and show me what you made. Have a wonderful day.